ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cheat Code Jiu-Jitsu. Jeff White here again. We've been working a lot of side control submissions for a while now. We're going to change things up a little bit, and we're going to be doing, for the next several videos in a row, a deep dive on the arm triangle, which is one of my favorite positions to set up. You'll note I did not say the arm triangle choke. That's going to be a big part of what we do going forward, but a lot of this deep dive series that we're going to be doing is going to be focusing on a concept of control positions. And so it's the idea of the arm triangle as a control position from which we can hit a number of different finishes, the primary one being the arm triangle choke. So over the course of the next several videos, we're going to work just sort of positional theory, how we set up the arm triangle, different places that we can set the position up from, how to finish the choke, how to approach it, everything like that. So it'll be a nice deep dive into that, and then also a lot of the secondary submissions that we can hit off of this for when they're trying to defend the things that we're doing, but we can still get the arm triangle and get the finish. So first thing that we want to talk about in this video are two main points. Number one, the arm triangle choke, which is my primary submission that I'm trying to hit out of this. What is it, and what are the mechanics that are going on in your body that are actually going to make it work? It's one of my favorite submissions. It's super highly efficient, puts the guy out really quick if you know how to do it. And then also I'm going to do kind of a short overview on different places that you can catch the arm triangle from. In my demos, I'm going to be showing it, setting it up from mount, because that's where I like to always teach it from. But if you can learn how to catch it properly from mount, then you'll be able to catch it from anywhere. So look at a number of different positions just briefly, and then starting in the next video, we'll look at actually setting up the arm triangle choke. Arm triangle, also known as the side choke. Catch wrestling usually is what calls it the side choke. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's usually the arm triangle. That's the name I've always used, so it's the name I'll use in this. What is it? How does it work? So similar to a triangle choke with my legs, I'm putting a leg around the guy's head. That leg is closing off the carotid artery on this side, and then I'm driving his shoulder in on the other side. Arm triangles work exactly the same way. So when I set it up, which we'll get to in a bit, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my arms around Demir's neck really deep. And if you see, my bicep is right up against the side of his neck on the other side. That bicep, when I flex, is going to be the thing that closes off the carotid artery on the other side. This shoulder here, when I get my lock in place, this shoulder is going to drive into Demir's neck, and it's going to close off the carotid artery on the other side. So once I actually fall down into my arm triangle choke and I put the squeeze on, that squeeze, we'll talk about how to do it in a later video. Once the bicep flexes, it becomes a rigid surface that's going to close off the carotid artery on the other side, closes off the supply of blood to his brain. When I put the squeeze on, this shoulder gets shoved into the near side of his neck, and it's going to close off the carotid artery there. It's a super efficient choke. It's actually one of the best chokes that you can do. I consider it to be kind of a staple move of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, catch wrestling, or whatever you're going to do, along with the Kimura, the triangle, the straight arm bar, and the rear naked choke. That plus the arm triangle is kind of the five probably most important fundamental submissions, at least for me, to do. So that's the position that I'm ultimately trying to get to. But along the way, when I'm getting up into this, even if I don't have my choke set up, just this position where I've got an arm around Demir's neck and I've got this arm pushed across, I've got amazing control over him from this position. So that's why I said we're going to look at this as the arm triangle as a control position, because not only do I have this arm triangle choke, if I get down here in the right position, I've also got good exits to Kesigatami or scarf hold position from here. I've got from there a lot of arm submissions and different things that I can do. From this arm triangle, there's quick exits to Kimura grip and Kimuras and arm locks and things of that nature. So a lot of good other submissions, but that's the mechanics of what's going on for the arm triangle itself. Now let's start to look at the different places that I can set it up from. My primary position that I hit the arm triangle from is the mount. And not only is this the first place that I usually hit it from, and actually the first place that I really learned to be super effective with the arm triangle, but also, in my personal opinion, it's the absolute best submission to hit from the mount, because I don't have to sacrifice any control at all in the mount position to be able to set up an arm triangle. I'm always in the mount, I'm always in control, pretty much up until the very, very end when I dismount, and I'm only dismounting when I've got everything so locked in that his defenses are pretty much done at that point. So it's an excellent place to get to. From the mount, we're gonna work generally here, but I'm gonna go under the head, and I need to walk this arm up and get passed across. Right there, that's my arm triangle set up for mount. So anytime you're in a mount position and you can catch the guy with this arm across, collapse your body into it and set it up, there's always an arm triangle that is available there. I can also set the arm triangle up from side control. I've seen guys do this a lot. If you guys are MMA fans, watch Chael Sonnen versus Brian Stann. It's a fight from several years ago. Chael uses this arm triangle setup. This is pretty much the exact one that he used to tap out Brian Stann in that fight. But if you're fighting here in side control, maybe Damir's got this far arm up a little bit and I can pop it, and then I can catch right here where I've got, again, that arm around the head, lock him in, and I'm locking down here on this arm. I can always set up an arm triangle at this point. My big thing that I need to do is I need to slide across at this point and clear his legs, which I can do either one leg and then slide the other one across. This is basically how Chael did it in his fight with Brian Stann. And then I'm right here in my arm triangle position. There's a couple of other ways that you can do it. It's kind of outside the scope of this video, but again, being in side control and then catching that far arm and locking it in, that's a good setup for an arm triangle. Those are the places that you typically get it from the top. You can set it up from the top as well from half guard. So if I'm in here fighting in half guard and I get in here low with Damir, I can set this up. So I'm starting to get my arm triangle going at this point. Now, in terms of finishing it from top half guard, this is a really tough finish, especially if the guy's got lockdown on me, because I need to be, we're going to talk about this in the finishing mechanics video, which is going to be a later one, but I need to be as far up on the guy as I can, driving pressure down into his throat. And one of the things about having it in half guard is Damir can clamp down on his guard and push me farther down his body and keep me from finishing the arm triangle. If I'm a super, super tall guy and my opponent's much shorter than me, I still might be able to get it, but most people, especially me, being a super short guy myself, I'm going to need to get out of half guard, but I can at least begin my setup from here. If I can trap that arm in there and then start getting a grip in place, maybe I can start giving him something to worry about up here at the top, so he starts trying to hand fight here, and then while he's doing that, I can be working my job of clearing out of his half guard and moving around. But I can totally begin the setup from half guard if I know what I'm doing. If I just happen to get that arm trapped across. It's not what I generally go for a lot, but if my opponent's just kind of giving that to me and the arm passes across, I can get some weight behind that. I can begin the arm triangle setup from there. I've seen people do it from guard before. Do not look for videos from me on how to do this from guard. That is a tall man's move. There is no way in hell that I'm going to set anybody up with an arm triangle. I seem to remember that about 5 or 6 years ago, somebody in the UFC actually finished this. It might have been Rick Story. I could be wrong on that. But they actually were doing an arm triangle inside of their opponent's guard, and were actually able to finish that. There's no way I'm ever going to get that, but that's out there if you guys want to try that. Maybe. I don't see that happening very often. In addition to being on top and setting it up from different positions on top, I can also set it up from the bottom, both from full guard and from half guard. This is not generally one that I go for, like intentionally try to set this up, but if I'm in here in guard with Damir and I can get control of this arm and I can pull him forward and get this elbow going forward, I might be able to drop him in the hole, grab up here around his head and clamp, And now I've got a possibility of an arm triangle from here. Again, we're going to go over the specific finishing mechanics for how I get this done later, but I do need to scoot myself out to the side of this trapped arm. And then I've got grips and stuff that I can do here. But I'm in an arm triangle position. This is totally legitimate to finish this from inside my full guard. Even half guard, I'll set this up from, I play a lot of lockdown half guard in my game. So I'll get here and I'll be in with Demir fighting, and sometimes if I can get control of this arm, pass it to the side, I can scoot up and I can grab an arm triangle from here. This can help, if you'll remember just a minute ago I was saying if I'm in Demir's half guard, he can scoot me down his body to keep me from getting into the position that I need to finish the arm triangle. That's actually one of the things, which we'll talk about later, that I need to do from half guard to finish myself, is pull him down my body with a good tight arm triangle from here. I can actually finish that. It is a legitimate way to finish the arm triangle. So it totally can be done from the bottom. So that's a basic overview of what the arm triangle is, where we're going to be going. So that'll be it for today. These are all going to be organized into a playlist, and you should watch all of them. I could probably do 50 videos on the arm triangle and not cover all the mechanics in enough detail. It's a really super technical move. It's a fantastic move. There's lots of different ways to finish it. It's been one of my personal favorites for a long time. So watch this video and keep an eye out for the ones that are coming up. Watch them all. They're going to be really good. If you like the video, this worked out really well for you, make sure to hit the like button. YouTube likes it when people interact with my videos. It makes them want to show it to more people, so please hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already done that, and turn on the notifications so you can get a notification every time I upload a new video. Arm triangle deep dive coming at you. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.